I want to hear about you having a heart attack and how you treated
Oh,
your
yeah.
wife that day.
Oh yeah, that was pretty good. I had we had a party out at, well, we didn't have a party. The seniors come out to our place and have pictures made and have a little party out there, you know, senior picture taking. What are you nodding at me over there for you?
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I thought. So that thing I did. Well, my next door neighbor's son, he was going to be there. He was a senior, and then my good buddy that has a business up there on 280, he was there, and his daddy was there, and they was all kind of people. And all us men was standing out in the yard, and this little old girl came up with Daniel, my next door neighbor's son, and she stepped out of the car, and Lord have mercy, cutest little old booger you've ever seen in your life. And that dress she had on wasn't nothing but full of holes. There was just enough material in that dress to cover up what you shouldn't be looking at. But all us old men was standing there looking and they're drooling. You know how old men standing around and drool, you know, and make little remarks to each other. Well, we were standing there, and about that time my wife came out, and she said, well, where is Ken and Sandra? That's the next door neighbor. And I said, Debbie, you didn't hear? I said, Ken had a heart attack. They had to carry him. Sandra had to rush him to the emergency room. And she said, do what? He's a lot younger than me. And I said, yeah. I said, that little old girl stepped out up there, and Ken took one look at that and had a heart attack. She put her hands on her hip and said, he might have had a heart attack. And turned around and walked off. Well, all them old men they just fell out laughing. That was a joke. That was on Saturday afternoon, and everybody joking about it Sunday. Well, Monday I was working over at a hunting reserve and had a heart attack. At first I didn't know what I just thought it was bad indigestion, and I said, my God, this is the worst heartburn I've ever had. So I told my fellow that ran everything for me, I told him, I said, I'm going back to the office. The office wasn't too far. I said, I'm going to get something indigestion. He looked at me and said, I need to drive you back. He don't ever ask to drive me nowhere. And I said, no, I'm all right. I said, I'll be fine. So I got out to 280 the highway, and when I did, that pain started down my arm. I said, oh my God. I said, I know what this is. Sweat started popping out on me. I went up to my buddy that ran the business up on 2. I went flying into his business. I got out and I made it to the door, and I was holding my chest, and I said, you can take me to the hospital. I'm having a heart attack. He ran the door and he said, where is she? Where is she? Where is she? I said, damn it, it's a heart attack. And he said, I ain't got time for your silly shit today. He said, go on. He said, I'm here by myself. I can't be leaving the office. And I said, I'm going to be in your truck. And when you decide to take me to the hospital, if I'm not already dead, I said, get me there. So he said, I tell you what, I'm going to carry you to the hospital. He said, but if you jump up and say surprise, he said, I'm going to whip your ass all the way back to your truck. So he said, when I went across, get to 22 down there, and he said he looked over and he said, man, if he's faking it, he's the best actor I've ever seen. He said, I believe he's really having a heart attack. So he gassed it, went right through. My son-in-law was fixing to turn. He went right by him. And he saw me hung out the window. So he followed on up to the hospital. So David goes in and they asked him and said, we need somebody here next to Ken or something. And they told me, they said, we're going to have to carry him into surgery and give him, do whatever they can do. So they threw me on that gurney thing, scuffing me down the hall. So David, he called and he said, Debbie, he said, Ricky's up here at the hospital and he's had a heart attack. And Debbie said, I hadn't got time for y'all's crazy foolishness. She said, I got customers I'm waiting on. She said, just forget it. So he said, Lord, and hung up on him. He said, Lord, what am I going to do? So he said, I got to call her. So he called her back again. And he said, now, Debbie, don't hang up on me. He said, now, I'm serious. He said, we out here at the hospital and Ricky's had a heart attack. And she said, I'm trying to run the irrigation. She just hung the phone up again. So about that time, my daughter showed up because her husband had seen me go under the red light. So she shows up, and David said, Emily, call Debbie and tell her that Ricky's had a heart attack. So Emily called and she said, y'all are going to a lot of trouble to pull this joke off. She said, I'm going to go pick up my sister. And we're going to come up there and somebody better be having a heart attack when I get there. Well, when I came out, they were just rolling me out of the whatever room they had me in working on me and putting stents in me and stenting me up. So they rolled out and I was just two enough. I recognized her and met her in the hall and I just raised up what that woman cussed me out. She told me she was sick and tired of my jokes and my pranks and I wasn't never going to do that again. And I said, well, you could have been up here for the last 2 hours wondering whether I was going to live or not. I said, and now you can see I am fine.
But I remember Debbie telling about when you finally had surgery and those two females got that doctor.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And my daughter and he quit being my doctor.
Yeah.
They got on to him so bad, and he'd come by and I'd call him old chicken shit. I said, come here, chicken shit. Two little old girls scared you. Come here, chicken shit.
Debbie was absolutely funny talking about
Yeah. She said they let in on him. Is it raining?
No.
No.